I was still dragging boxes through my front door, sweating in an old t-shirt when the sirens came screaming down the street, 3 cop cars, lights blazing, neighbors peeking through their blinds. My first thought, someone must have lost a dog or crashed a golf cart again. But no, it was for me. The HOA president in her perfect tennis whites called 911 because she thought a suspicious individual was breaking into the Palmer property. Imagine that. You inherit your uncle's house, and within 10 minutes you're the neighborhood criminal. So there I am, standing on the porch holding my ID keys, the deed, trying to explain to officers who look one eye at my paperwork and one eye at the Queen herself, Brenda Fitzgerald. They barely glance at my stuff before turning to her. Well, Mrs. Fitzgerald, better safe than sorry. And just like that, the cops drive off, leaving me face to face with Brenda and her perfume, the kind that smells expensive but can't quite cover up her attitude. She steps so close I could count her crow's feet. I don't care what papers you have, she says. You don't belong here. Cross me and I'll destroy you. Ever had someone threaten to ruin your life before you've even finished moving in? Wild, right? But what Brenda didn't know, and what honestly I didn't know either, was that she'd just threatened the one guy who actually owned way more than one house on that block. I should probably back up. 3 months before my phone rang at 6 a.m., my Uncle Theo, dead heart attack in his sleep, peaceful as a man who never let anything touch him too deep. Theo was well-awed, showed up twice a year for family dinners, talked about municipal bonds, vanished before dessert. He was about as warm as a tax return. Turns out the quiet ones, the ones who never say much. Sometimes they're busy playing chess while the rest of us are stuck on checkers. I walked into the lawyer's office expecting maybe a fishing cabin, a leaky rowboat. The place reeked of money and leather. "Congratulations, Mr. Palmer," the lawyer says, sliding a thick folder my way. "You now own Willowbrook Lake Properties, LLC. I flip through the pages thinking, okay, a single lake house, maybe 2. Instead, I find out I own half the damn lake. Willowbrook Lake. Picture this, a retirement community where the home started $1 million. The beach is private. The boat slips cost more than I make in a year. 12 houses, each one custom built for people who want to play outdoors but pay someone else to mow the lawn. And running this fantasy world, Brenda Fitzgerald. 60-ish, recently widowed, perfect yard, perfect nails, probably a perfect criminal record if anyone looked close enough. Brenda, she'd turned Neighborhood Watch into her own personal KGB. Every violation notice printed in a font so neat you'd think it was a ransom note. She'd find old widows for dandelions, run young families out for letting their kids laugh too loud. I learned all this digging through Uncle Theo's files. The man kept records like he was prepping for a federal trial, letters, photos, every phone call, every stupid little rule she'd invented. So here I am, moving in with 2 college kids, helping for beer money, dressed like, well, me, baseball cap, jeans, sweat stains. And Brenda's peeking through her curtains like I'm robbing Fort Knox. The next thing I know, 911 is on the scene. The cops not exactly helpful. Brenda staring at me like I tracked mud across her soul. "You should have called ahead. We have protocols. Standards. Standards, right? Because there's a standard way to inherit your uncle's house." Within a week, there's a packet in my mailbox thick as a phone book, 47 pages of HOA violations, most for things that happened before I even owned the place. My Honda Civic is apparently a blight on the landscape. My uncle's shed, 15 years old and suddenly an illegal modification. 3 months of HOA dues billed while my uncle was literally dead. And a $500 admin fee for the privilege of being bullied. I call the HOA management. Some bored teenager picks up, "Yeah, you gotta pay in 10 days or we escalate." Brenda handles all enforcement herself. Of course she does. Instead of writing a check, I did what Uncle Theo would have done. I started digging. His files perfect. Every receipt, every letter, even audio recordings from HOA meetings where Brenda talked openly about maintaining the character of the community. Code for kick out the people who don't fit her vision. Turns out half the rules Brenda enforced weren't real. She'd invented most of them just to make life hell for the wrong people. And tucked in among Uncle Theo's letters. Notes from Sarah Kim, an attorney known for tearing corrupt HOAs to shreds. Uncle Theo was building a case. Systematic discrimination, financial abuse, all of it right there in black and white. He died 2 weeks before pulling the trigger. Brenda, meanwhile, kept coming. My kayak, suddenly in violation of some watercraft registration rules she made up a month ago. $300 fine. I filed a challenge, requested the HOA's financials. Turns out every homeowner has the right, but no one ever asks. Brenda looked like she swallowed a lemon when I delivered the request in person. Next, there's an emergency HOA meeting. Brenda wants to humiliate me in front of the neighbors. But three folks, Bob, Linda, old Frank, stand up for me. "We've watched Brenda bully good people out for years," Bob says. The room gets real quiet. That afternoon, I noticed Brenda's sprinklers running at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, direct violation of the very water restriction she'd helped write. I took photos. She tried to double down, left her security light blinding my windows. When I pointed out that was harassment under state law, she just glared. Uncle Theo had a saying, "Give bullies enough rope and they'll hang themselves." Sure enough, another violation comes in my mailbox. Needs replacing $400 plus install from the only approved vendor, Brenda's brother-in-law. I call for a quote as a new customer. For the rest of town, $50. For Willowbrook, $400. Nepotism, pure and simple. I dig through 5 years of HOA financials, $30,000 in consulting fees to Brenda's own company, pool contracts to her old bank buddy, landscaping to her friend's husband, security services to her cousin, illegal as hell. Uncle Theo had marked every self-dealing contract in red. When board members profit off their position, that's a felony. Brenda escalates, bans me from the pool, says residents complained. Bob, Linda, and Frank all laugh when I ask if they reported me. The pool company, when I call Mrs. Fitzgerald, owes us $12,000 for unauthorized repairs. She's been spending HOA money like it's monopoly cash. Then the nuclear option emergency assessments. $800 per house for infrastructure. No specifics, just pay or else. The neighbors are panicked. Half ready to pay, half finally asking what's actually broken. We call a meeting. Brenda struts in with fake graphs and a gavel. But this time people push back. That night I find the ace in Uncle Theo's files. He didn't just own my house. Through LLCs and intermediaries, he owned 8 of the 12 homes. And he owned the company that managed the HOA. Brenda's been working for my family the whole time. I bring in Sarah Kim. She's almost giddy going through the files. "This is enough to send Brenda away for years," she says. But Uncle Theo left a note, "Let the community see the truth. Don't just fire her, expose her." So we set the trap. I install high-def security cameras. Gather my coalition at Bob's kitchen. "Here's what Theo really did," I tell them. "He protected you, bought your homes to keep you safe from Brenda's scams." The shock palpable. "What's our play?" Frank asks. I lay out the plan. Brenda, in her arrogance, keeps overplaying. She hires security guards, her cousin's firm, surveilling my property, measuring my grass. Tapes up violation notices on my uncle's beloved native plant garden, the one featured in local magazines. I call the botanist who helped plant it. She's furious. Destroying that garden would be ecological vandalism. By now, neighbors who once kept quiet are fed up. Brenda's been spreading rumors, even drafting a petition to kick me out. Only 3 people sign before the rest call to warn me. She sends out flyers, fabricates background checks, tells people I'm working with developers to turn Willowbrook into a strip mall. But the best part, she leaves the evidence everywhere. Fraudulent legal notices, fake court case numbers, extortion threats. Every bit of it I document and file, waiting for the moment to bring it all out in the open. Finally, the big night comes. The community center's packed. Brenda's there, power suit on, gavel ready, press and officials in the back. She bangs the gavel, launches into her speech. "Tonight we vote on the removal of Marcus Palmer, threat to our community." She's so confident she doesn't see the tax assessor stand up. "Before we vote, Mrs. Fitzgerald, you owe $34,000 in back taxes." The room explodes. While Brenda tries to explain, I stand up with Uncle Theo's property surveys. My family owns 8 of the 12 homes, including the lake access, including your mansion's beach rights. Gasps everywhere. Sarah Kim lays out the embezzlement charges. Reporters flash bulbs. FBI agents step forward, handcuffs ready. Brenda, shaking, denies everything. "This is a conspiracy," she yells, voice cracking. "I'm in charge." The FBI agent is calm as a lake at dawn. "Mrs. Fitzgerald, you're under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and civil rights violations." The look on her face, priceless. Neighbors watch as she's let out, finally seeing the truth. The fear, the hate, the control, it's all over. 6 months later, Willowbrook Lake is a new place. The HOA is dissolved. A real board runs things. Neighbors grill out, kids play. Illegal fines, refunded scholarship funds set up in Uncle Theo's name. We built a pavilion where Brenda's cameras used to be. The native garden is a community project now. Uncle Theo's lesson. Document everything. Know your rights. Shine sunlight on corruption. Bullies like Brenda only win when you let them. Now let me ask you, where do you draw the line between protecting a community and protecting power? Ever had to stand up to a petty tyrant in your own backyard? Drop your story below. Who knows, your battle might just inspire the next person to fight back too.